wanted to talk a little bit today about the essence of being. So, this is definitely something to contemplate because, first of all, humanity can be overpowering in its destructiveness. And it's up to us to recognize the essence of beingness. So, as a human, you are a conditioned ego, meaning that from the time you were born, you have been taught to think and to feel, even feel certain ways, even though as a really young one, you might be somewhat, I wouldn't say questioning it, but you might push up against that because you have needs. You're young, you don't really understand the social norms at that point, but you've become a conditioned ego. But as a being, you are an unconditioned consciousness. I'll just go into some of this a little bit to see if I can flush some of this out a bit. So notice what's happening in the collective. So thought streams are collective, and they are energy formations, and actually these energy formations use your mind. Now, I don't want to make it spooky, but the point is, we attract energetic frequencies. And depending on what frequency you are operating in, that's what you're going to attract. So again, there are streams of consciousness. And you can be actually possessed, or if you want to call it hypnotized, by a collective energy. And this collective energy stream, I could say that that's not unlike what happened in Germany during World War II, or with Chairman Mao in China. I mean, all of these had to do with control. So we have entered a time period of collective chaos. What I want you to be aware of is to not become part of the disorder, to stay conscious. Take responsibility for your life force and ask yourself, for instance, what is the quality of my life? How is my life going? Do I feel that I am in the moment more often than not, which when you're in the moment, you're in a state of consciousness? Or are you running through your to-do list? Are you engaging in some kind of raucous activity, which is creating havoc in your mind somehow? Are you engaged in many arguments? Can you see unconsciousness and still have compassion? Can you see that in somebody who is unconscious, and you know that they're unconscious because they're in their thought form, they're just in their thought pattern, and they're not really paying attention to you? It's like people like this often are thinking about the next thing that they're going to say to you, so they're not really with you. They're not really in your heart or in the feeling place. They're in this other place where they've just got, something else going on. Because there is consciousness in being. So if you think about how you feel when you're in that possibly prayerful state, that's a state of being. That's a state of consciousness. And every time you meet a person, it's a possibility of a holy encounter. Seeing the divinity of every human. You don't have to agree with every human, but you don't have to battle it either. You don't have to follow the crowd. And there may be times when you feel that you have to take a firmer stance, but know what it is you're taking a stand on. Know if you're following this collective stream that may be working against humanity, and don't allow yourself to be hypnotized by external events, because obviously there's a lot of that going on right now. You can bring consciousness into an unconscious world. I think that's really what I think is one of the most important things to do, is to raise awareness and raise consciousness in individuals. Help us all to be more in the now, if that's possible. And it is. And to me, this is the single most important mindset to have. Because who you are in essence is already complete. And you are one with Source, always. Or you could call it God, or you could call it the divine, or you could call it anything you want, but something that is greater than you. You are always one with that greatness. Now that's incredible, because that gives you a lot of opportunity for a lot of things to occur. But when you're in your doing state, you're running around, you're taking care of things, and I understand that's how you have to be in life, right? You've got to take care of things. If you're human, you've got to run errands, but remember that when you're doing these things, more often than not, you're not in a mindful place. You're probably in this doing space, listening, feeling, paying attention to you, your intuition, and that's all part of being. So just think about it. When you're in this state and you're truly listening to somebody and not in your mind racing it and going ahead and trying to think of what you want to say, just feeling that moment, feeling the conversation, being aware of what's happening, that's in your being state. That's also more than likely your most relaxed state. If you are in that state, then you're going to be more intuitive, and chances are that you're going to be seeing more truth in whatever it is that you're taking in. So you want to refrain from overdoing too much and not becoming a part of the disorder. You want to strive for order, but at the same time, you need to know that the world needs to be disordered in order to move forward. So there is going to be a degree of chaos and a degree of disorder, but you don't have to be a part of that disorder. You don't have to be a part of the chaos. One of the ways that you can help yourself through that is, well, by intention, by prayer. And if you place your hands together, and by the way, placing your hands together is placing the right and left hemispheres of the brain together. That's what happens when you pray. You're putting both sides of the brain together. And you could say to yourself that I am consciousness, I am consciousness, I am consciousness, I am consciousness. That's one thing that you could do. There is another thing that you could say, which is, and there's a million things you could say, but I'm giving you a couple of things. The infinite creative power of the universe is within me. The infinite creative power of the universe is within me. I am a part of it, and it is beautiful. I am a part of it, and it is beautiful. And so it is. Thank you so much.